Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, as usual, about Bitcoin and Ethereum, how the network is going and how the graph is changing. We are seeing some crazy in the crypto market over the gonna break at you really just help exactly what's going on here. And now look at the first thing we have done here. It is we have set a brand new 18 day. The back thing the Bitcoin has today we're broken out of the channel. We've seen a nice daily close above us, and well, which is absolutely beautiful. Take a look at this right here on the daily chart or daily candle. It is actually nearly, it is a previous week, and it is the highest daily post. The Bitcoin has been quiet. So really have to zone out for quiet. It is time since John. So last year, this is actually more than 400 days ago. So if you're measuring it by daily close, yeah, actually about the same time. So um, absolutely beautiful. There we are making very progress. Nothing has changed. I already know that the deal, your boy is still in his long trade. So still sitting in an absolutely beautiful profit up here. And this right, what I'm seeing for now is the possibility to establish some support. I'm not going to talk about that right now. We are actually going to change over to through how this Bitcoin happening. So this is what store all the headline just rule. It is not a security sec against Ripple. So the first thing I want to say is I can't say it anymore. I'm being not sensible online. I was going to say something not nice about XCC. About the second thing, I'm going to say it is the reason people really like this because security it is not subject to as high of a degree of regulation unless regulation means more money. Basically a lot of case. So everyone and then is running around in circle. So this and obviously you come to our full five. So you know I'm gonna clap for the HRP sale. I'm going to tell just absolutely just rubbing themselves up to two time of HRP, which is by the way it is now already down. So Bitcoin is still holding above this important level of support, but in the short term, the price is attempting a breakout the upside, which I will talk about in just a moment. So definitely stick to the live. First of all, starting of the 1 day or Bitcoin chart, and basically not much has changed on this chart over the last 1 day. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this chart right here, check out my last live on the channel. And so getting straight into the daily Bitcoin chart. So we are still seeing a bit of rejection from this strong resistance, and best bearish divergence continue to play out, which Basically mean we should not really be expecting a lot of bullish right here at the momentum, at least in the shorter term. And instead, as I have been saying almost every day over the last 2 weeks, over 1 week, and it's very likely we're going to see either some choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback in the switch turn in the price of Bitcoin, which has been playing out so far as expected. If you're looking at the daily Bitcoin MAC, it is as of right now, this is currently showing very low momentum, which again, as I have been saying recently, the channel, this basically means we should not really be expecting a significant move on the chart to either direction here on the daily time when you're talking about this somewhat shorter term. And now, if you zoom in into the 4-hour chart, now the price of Bitcoin is still holding above this important level of support, which is around 28.9. Okay, so at least for now, this is the initial important level of support. Pay attention to. But if we actually see a break back below 28.9k, then in that case, we have the support level at around 28,000. And below that, we have the golden pocket area of support in between around 27,000 to 27.2k. And as for resistance, at least based on the Fibonacci level, we should find some resistance at around $30,000. And if you zoom in into the shorter term, taking a look at the 2 hour chart, 3 hour chart, technically speaking, this previous bear flag bearish price target have not yet been completely invalidated, because we have not yet seen a proper confirmed breakout back above this line right here, which is sitting at around 29.07, because basically the level was not only previous support and should acting as a new resistance in the short term. It is also the point of invalidation for this previous bearish flag pattern and the bearish price target that goes along with it. So obviously, if we see a confirmed breakout back above that level, once again invalidate this pattern at this price target, and in that case, the next resistance in the short term above 30,000 will be sitting at around 30.4k. So this level right here, but once again, as I have been saying recently, the channel just in the shorter term, we currently do not have a lot of momentum, which basically means we don't really have a strong direction here in the price of Bitcoin, at least in the shorter term for now. If you are zooming into the 2 hour chart, well, very interesting is right now is the Bitcoin is attempting a breakout above a descending. So line of resistance, which is sitting at around 29.1.3 to 29.4k. So far we have seen an initial breakout to the upside, a rest of a level. Now we're actually starting to see a possible bounce from this level, which was previous resistance, now flipping into a new support. And so technically speaking, this is a bullish signal, especially if this further confirmed by confirming this candle close in the green. Ideally, if we can actually make a new high above this previous high just here at the sort of over the last 1 day, could also further confirm this breakout above this ascending. In that case, considering we are potentially breaking out right now and we are getting close to the confirming this retest for the breakout, that set up a technical price target at around 29.9k, approximately, which from the current price of Bitcoin at the time of record during this live, the target at around 1.5% move in the price of Bitcoin. So obviously not a massive move, because once again, as I have said earlier, we do not have a lot of momentum when you're looking at the move of the daily chart. For example, so obviously on the smaller time frame, that might look like a very very large move, but in the time frame, larger time frames, still look like something like example. Obviously, nothing significant. In case you're wondering, the point of invalidation for this breakout to the upside here on 1 hour, on 2 hour chart, that would simply be a break back below, right? Here on once again at around 29.3k to 29.4k. Obviously, this is one of those rare occurrence where we actually have a bullish price target and a bearish price target. And you might be wondering, well, what does that mean? What does that mean to have a bearish price target and a bullish price target? And well, first of all, these two patterns are one to different in time frame. So for example, usually the pattern of the smaller time frame plays out faster than pattern or the slightly larger time frame. So likely scenario here in the short term, if this rate is further look at something like this, basically the price of Bitcoin potentially continuing higher toward this bullish, we do not see a breakup about 29.7k, and instead we just see a small move to upside. And then get a rejection front of a resistance, then this bearish price target on the 2 hour chart remains in play. Of course, we can also see a candle wick back above this level, right? So being without invalidating this bearish price target, it is only important we not see confirm candle close back above 29.7k for this pattern. Obviously, kind of close level once again invalidate the bearish price target. So essentially, in the imminent short term, talking about coming hour, for example, we are currently looking slightly more bullish, but we would only start to flip much more again if we actually see an invalidation of this previous bearish pattern by confirming a breakout that invalidation level. So until that, once again, as I have said earlier, we do not currently have a strong direction here in the price of Bitcoin. In the short term, because once again we are currently lacking momentum, and so now this type of thing is also perfect for a grid bot strategy where you can make a profit very easy automatically during choppy sideways price action. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this slide, find out more. But first, getting into the Ethereum part of this live. So the daily $8 to euro chart, and right now the price is still going, trading above this important area of support once again in between 70.70 to 80.20. As for the daily Ethereum price, oscillator, these are still currently looking very neutrally, showing very low momentum, which once again I've been saying almost every day over the last over 1 week. So this is basically unlikely we're going to see any significant movement here on the daily time frame, and it's much more likely we're going to see relatively mild to price action, as in most likely choppy sideways price action. If you're zooming, if you're into the 8-hour 1-day chart, previous ascending line of the support resistance, considering we have seen a downside and so continue a bounce back to the upside, then expect a resistance at around 90.10 to 90.20. And just saying on the 1-day time frame, taking a look at the Fibonacci level, we still have this 50 retracement level around 80.30, approximately acting as a support. But if we saw a confirmed break back below that, we had the golden pocket sitting at between 7060 to 7070. As for resistance, based on the Fibonacci level, we are currently still finding a bit of resistance at around 8070 to 8080. There, once again, we have that resistance at around 9010 to 9020. Above that, we also have some resistance at around 9030 based on this Fibonacci level. And now if you're zooming into 2 hour, 8 hour, 4 hour US dollar chart right now, as our during this live, actually invalidate this previous breakout, the upside, because if you watch my last live on the channel, basically in that live we were seeing an initial breakout and initial retest of this previous resistance level, flipping it into a new support. Obviously, we did not see a lot of confirmation for that radius. We did not see a strong bounce of this level, and also we did not create any near higher high above this previous higher for the initial breakout. And then so essentially the follow through for the breakout coming to the breakout was very weak. And obviously the moment we actually saw a confirmed breakback below this line right here, that was the invalidation level for the breakout. And so once again, technically speaking, as of right now, this line of resistance and this breakout is currently invalidated with simply choppy at around. It's sideways, showing very low momentum in the short term. So back to the Bitcoin again, there is a scenario we are looking to the wavy upside, which we then expect continuing to the downside. Now this is the scenario that a couple of things I'd like to talk about. First of all, if are looking for a new to the upside, then in the scenario you never want to see really a waxy or another three-wave structure as in a wave Y as well as wave W. You prefer to see simple corrective structure, meaning a zigzag in a 535, which is already invalidated as this over here, and wave structure, and this retreat too deep for a wave for either. The most common flag in the expanding fig where the flow of B trade original and the potential triangle, where then over here we are looking for something like this after which eventually continue to the downside. Now at the flat, therefore it is still possible, but the problem for flag over here is that this is a three-way structure because it is a wave to the upside, and now we are looking for a wave B toward the downside. Should also be a three-way structure. Then target for B is between to the 1.83. However, if B is there structure, then this is a three-way structure over here, and then a 535 zigzag structure. It is not leading to the target for expanding that wave B, and this is a problem. So if it is not moved toward the downside in a slight line, it is higher probability it is in a impulse, because in a wave B, what you can see in a WHY in it is like this. That is a very possible. But that means we do first to get retracement toward the upside and then continuation to the downside. If price just does this then scenario, it is definitely not valid a triangle. It is still on the card. Followed by another wave, so a zigzag in a wave, and there are a zigzag in a wave B at the moment. Volume over here is very increasing, as you can see, a quite high amount of volume, not higher than this, can hold out to be a triangle. You like to see value decreasing at the pattern, evolving for out of 5 wave to be a zigzag. Now you can count where zigzag as well as doesn't go deeper because already reached the max target for zigzag. Mainly the volume that is quite questionable, so I am a triangle preferably. This is the low of AB, and then going to have a structure in a CBD that eventually I move toward the downside, which is bearish. But I can keep it very simple because the wave Y to the downside, which is the blue card, in the bigger X or B, because we're looking for an W or an H, then are looking for a complex structure in a WHY. There are 3 wave in a wave, and then looking for a Y to a downside, but Y to the downside again need to be preferably a simple correction in a zigzag flat or a triangle. Now if wave Y is a zigzag, then this is the zigzag is not deep enough, so doesn't work. So that leaves 2 corrections, either as a flavor flat or a triangle high. Triangle how if flat, it is supposable flat. High on the triple top at the toward impulse toward downside to finish the blue Y inside the most common target area for a while, which is also between the one little, but 0.1618, this is another zigzag. It is not valid because minimum target for a wave. So therefore a potential flag is pattern on card again and triangle, where this is there where a preferably already finished at a reach target over wait C is the longest time frame, which more zigzag I will show you in a second, and then we are going to back look for a triangle. So after which you then expect a move to the upside for then this Y or C on a higher time frame. So this is quite important. So the only way for, or the only acceptable way to move down to the downside over here is if there's going to be a flat, meaning or the price is going to move to the downside, and without talking to the triple top, this over here for another bounce, like I will take too low, and move up has a much lower probability because we wanted to see a zigzag, which is not okay. So that if we go down in a straight line, if you really want to see the rejection over here, because the problem at so I try to reach this level over here at, then you have an ABCD, and then you move up. So you're now getting down here. If we here then look at the scenario, which is the most bearish scenario we're looking for, this W2B and WXY scenario. So this is the scenario we then have inside, and we have Y and 3 structure to the upside. and either an ABC or a WXY. Now, for the one that know about Eli wave, this is gonna be ABC. So want to see a five-way structure, this move to the upside, but clearly not a five-waiter, it is three-way structure to the upside. And so another thing is that if this is an ABC expanding flat, then we will be hit the rare target. So 105 now, that is not really problem per se. The biggest problem is that this wave C did not take a height of wave, which is extremely rare. And then we are gonna talk about a running flat, which is an ABC, and not taking the higher of this very definitely not look bad. Then on the other hand, if we look into the WNH stand and the wine well, because we prefer a simple structure and not complex structure, so both or these are not really great for a very moment. However, they continue to the observed price, the scenario where wave wine is simply very short, and this is the low of zigzag, which is a completely value structure, so that couldn't be to the end of y, and WHY is just extremely short time, which is really what you want to see as well. So it is quite difficult to look for a very bearish scenario, but of course with the other things I mentioned, with the price potentially going down here, volume increasing, it might just be the scenario with the highest probability. We are going to talk about that in a second. Now, if we look at the micro and we look at this being ABC or to the wave downside, a three-wave structure, a five or in a potential wave volume, it is increasing rapidly, giving us more indication. Volume increasing and price moving impulsively to the downside. Usually a wave had at least most commonly wave C trend to the C trend take a little bit time when a wave, but this wave it is diagonal over here, so you know at least like a diagonal or cost quite a lot of time to instead of a regular impulse to downside. So a wave C can be shorter than a diagonal, but this look quite impulsive at the moment. However, we did a breakout of the target area over wave C, but the main thing with this three-way structure, it is relationship to the other scenario X, as I explained, because in this scenario, this being a zigzag to the downside over here on the left, the upside is not enough in 535 in a flat scenario. You want this, so you need to this actually deeper, but it didn't happen. Going to looking for a something. This is instead for a triangle. You don't really want to see it glow below. Then A B C D E right now. For other scenario, this three-way structure then is not deep enough to finish due to play either a flat or again triangle, where for a triangle you want to see a price moving sideways from here and not go much deeper. from here and not go much deeper. And the final scenario, if this is a three-way structure, well then what, right? Because in this scenario, this over here preferably is the end of wave Y, and you look for an impulse to the downside for lower price. So yeah, this is being an ABC at the moment. It does not look that great because of the value and also the relationship to the other scenario. Now, trading psychology wise, what still to the gain down here, right? Price took the low over here with this wick move toward the upside. It took this high, it didn't take this, neither did it take that higher over here. Yeah, but if price will move toward the downside, well left, right? Because I don't really have too much support. I which is a daily negative point or control or 29 or 75, and in that in the silver update section, it's been, yeah, it's been a update membership. I wrote like psychology, trading psychology bit after my update at last yesterday. I can get out my head why would price go down again, only take to the lower of the range, and the low made yesterday for them to move up to the high. There is not really anything left down there after the price took the double button, and like yesterday basically on the support bounce, which I will show you in a second. So doesn't too much sense to make going down here again, make more sense to me to just go down to the lower price instead of a bounce and go up once more either, or go up instead immediately. Let me know your thought. Also comment, let me know your thought right now, what you're thinking. So what I was thinking, and here it is the target. Back to the resistance, where it had resistance. Now Tesla tries, but if price goes down again, then what is still to gain down here? Well, you could take this lower, yeah, but this is already swing. So here, as you know, another swing failure pattern of the swing failure pattern. And if you take to this lower over here, well, also below that low, there is not too much support. So if you're gonna take this low, it has to be a quick move close above and move to the upside in the swing failure pattern. So going down here would definitely be more bearish at the moment. But currently, price is at the daily negative point of control, which as it stands now while recording, during acting as a little bit of support. Now, finally, the CVD divergence. Before going into the probability, we have a various CVD divergence all over the place. As you can see, there's a no line. We have bearish CVDs over here. Was a nice trade opportunity that played out now. So this is one over here is a neutralized. We still have this over and over here lower. High in price with but and higher high on the CVD, where one the target is this lower over here, and you have the bigger one between these. But there is third time CVD, which is immediately also give it a lower probability of playing out. The target, however, is the same, so doesn't really matter compared to the first one. The reason I write third is this highly already had the CVD divergence, which is the one. So yeah, this one already played out. This one also lower over here, and third wave over here. Well, you know, each time you got another divergence with the same high, it lower the probability of playing out. But this one over here between this high and this high is first time version. So potentially that could mean price target to the downside because we don't have a bullish divergence. At the moment, something to look for a potentially that if price finds support, negative point of control, move to the upside and retracement, some bullish divergence. That could be interesting for a move toward the update as it is then countering the bearish divergence. So something to at least look out for. And also we take a Fibonacci from the high to the low and toggle on the 8086 now. You can see that the 8086 over here has been very nicely respected, but 8086 first of all it is not really target for a wave 2, but well, we can't really import this wave, so that doesn't really matter. But most importantly, the longer price ranging at around 8086, the higher the probability of taking the high where you pull it from this over here. You can see it wasn't an 8086 hit, but then I moved to the downside quite long, so at least this is like something as our potential probability. So as it stands at the moment, of course, it doesn't look great. Left to the daily negative point of control to the chat price is moving to the downside. The volume is increasing. The scenario explains it doesn't look great. So if we look at the probability at the moment, yeah, I mean, can we take the triple top of course over here, and I wrote triple top of triangle because if this is wave Y over here, it is very short, and this is a wave Y. And mostly like a running flag, but the running flag is extremely rare so far, and a lightweight. The probability aren't that great, so the triple stop is still something looking for. But the price is going to take this low, then yeah, we have to observe the reaction, as that could be very bearish, especially with volume increasing as well. Currently price at support, but a potential zigzag. If price continue, it is going to be invalidated as well. If we are at least still have a rare target down here, the 1.618, but of course it is probability of this being a three-way structure already looking at the volume. So currently a move to the upside does not look like that likely, but for me this low over here it is more important because of trading psychology. But well, what till do the go game down here, right? So yeah, keep an eye open, and potentially the triple top over here, or potentially a triangle. It doesn't look too great at the moment. If we move below here, well, bearish scenario are going to become a bit more probable, but have to be observed that what's happening. You kind of sound like it is more like a neutral, especially basically what I have for a move upside. It is actually more like a triple price over here, and we are talking, well, with volume increasing so high, maybe beginning the bigger move to the downside instead of riding top of triangle. So this low is taken and become more bearish. Maybe it is already bearish. So this is the higher. So real structure of Y and finish over here. So they're high. So even though it doesn't look good, at least keeping my mind open. Still potential bullish scenario because it is a large wave. You know, always need to be a bullish bearish scenario. So you have to look for everything. We have to look for the sign more locally to the side what up next, and I already entered my short position over here. So I'm all set, it is safe. So let's break even. If it is lower, I'm happy. If I see order more locally for a move to the well, I'm happy as well because then I just give into the look for potential. But at the moment, you know, as I price it falling, we have to wait and see for a sign. Here the price can help as confidence toward the upside, or it like to play it out as well, but there doesn't look too great. So that's about the chart, and let's take a look to some news. This week, crypto market dropped. BTC and Ethereum all start to slight respond to growing uncertainty both inside and outside of cryptocurrency industry, where our crypto price headed next. Particular Ethereum update, institutions start to accumulate to receiver installer start a testing is layer a 2 for more agility spread food and question WorldCoin. What does this mean? Thief digital ID deploy. So for years of development with 1,000 are reportedly lined up to have their eyes scanned for their cat of free crypto. Everything you need to know. Japan Central Bank, that's second time in that case, leading to speculation that another market crash is imminent. While you need to pay attention to the order and close look at the last week. Top of performing crypto where they could be headed next. And this is more in just a moment. Last week, the crypto market experienced overly muted price action. Considering the massive macro that should have moved it. Weekly crypto review. You know that the central bank of the US and EU and Japan all announced their interest rate to the FED announced its interest Wednesday. At the same that crypto market responded with a small rally that resulted a short squeeze. As you can see, most of the gains were gone in a few hours. I know that we will be summarizing the Fed press conference later this week, so still continue to, which is the FEB. Rate decision now, this is the surprising because the ECB was more dovish than expected. Anticipation of a looser monetary policy in the EU should have resulted a slight pump, not a dump. Well, the answer to this mystery appears to be GDP, specifically that GDP figured for Q2 in the US, which were released. So, U.S. economy is growing faster than investors expected. This likely led to expectation that Fed will have to keep rising interest rate and respond. Additional evidence for this answer can also be found in the price of action of major stock indices. As you can see, that P50 also saw a sudden dip. So mean it was a macro factor. That thing is that the GDP were released earlier in that day. So this begs the question of what the macro factor really was, and the answer could be report from Japanese media on Thursday, which suggested that the Bank of Japan or BOJ was going to rise interest rate on Friday. In the end, or the BOJ did not such thing, but it did make another market moving decision. More on the later. So BTC Bitcoin weekly chart suggests that it was, which is supposed to be bullish, appears to have a broken to the downside if this break to take BTC below the Bollinger Band moving average. This is weak. Expect to see more downside. Interestingly, it is a different story for Ethereum weekly chart against BTC. So close which call for a shadow some gains against BTC in the short term. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that Ethereum will rate in the phase term, but it is a evidence of speculation returning to the crypto market. The caveat is that Ethereum such as the monthly Ethereum price saw another monthly close beneath the Bollinger Band moving average slightly in the green. This underscore ongoing. Certainly, like the market, including an Ethereum ecosystem. If you are weekly newsletter, you know there are one stable coin in particular that could be a or banana skin for Ethereum. Despite all of this apparent uncertainty, though institutions have a reportedly resumed accumulation, Ethereum, according to CoinShare, institutions appear to have moved money out of Bitcoin-related funds and been moving them into altcoin-related funds, mostly Ethereum and HRP. This could be explained that increase in Ethereum strength against Bitcoin over the last week. It revealed that reason why the recent ruling in the SEC ongoing lawsuit against Ripple has likely increased institutional confidence in altcoin, given that trading on a change it is now believed to be a hoax. If you watched video to the ruling, however, you recall that it doesn't exactly protect other altcoins from the SEC security, just HRP. This assumes that SEC won't appeal to the ruling, which is reportedly looking to the likely as the day goes by. Of course, this will be a bad news for until that doesn't happen, though. Ethereum and other outer could have some more wiggle room to the rally, and some institutional believe that they will, due to their supply, a higher correlation to tech stock news flash. For all of us, that the Nasdaq has been on a ripple rally since the start of the year, thanks to AI and crypto has a well. This support correlation would be easier to understand if Ethereum ecosystem wasn't riddled with numerous multi-billion-dollar mint coins, that the largest of the lot of Shiba, with a market cap of almost 5 billion in the sheep defense it is developed has been heard. I will creating and hand new layer 2 on Fridays in his DV deploy, and the testnet for the bridge between the layer 2 dApp Shibarian and Ethereum, while Ethereum is scheduled for launch sometime in August and likely a result in another wave or main coin frenzy. This would likely to be a bullish for Ethereum as all meme coins has been on that note. One of the biggest Ethereum means is the idea for a transition from proof of work to proof of stake may eventually friendly. This has been overblown. According to Lane, rating a former Ethereum core developer has been overblown in recent coin stacks. Article then pointed out many of the computers that were mining Ethereum switched to mining of the altcoin, meaning that probably wasn't a significant decline. So, of Ethereum validator have been spun up a lane. So, also pointed out the proof of stake to proof of work, arguably less secure than proof of work. It has own word unlike a poll. So, stake can silently, invisibly, and permanently capture the entire network, and pretty scary moment considering recent revelation. Regardlessly, made it clearly that is happy that Ethereum has transitioned to proof of stake, but underline the fact that this is not necessarily is all being cut out to being a benefit back drawback. So Verderin also had a thing to say about WorldCoin, about anything of true. I mean, very, very long ago, posted, including everything you will think, uh, saying that WorldCoin will fail if it can get enough orbits and out of the world. So over 2 million to be exact. If you watch on other light about WorldCoin, you know it was co-founded by the internet related to the tech start to the moon. Now Sam created a WorldCoin to address how issue he believed it will rise because of a namely deep fake and embarrass income equity to solve format for want to scan every that because everyone is IRS color part of this area, and this is very difficult to fake in WorldCoin work, especially designed so that is so impossible, so fake. So scan the idea basis for digital ID now. To solve the latter problem, some want to roll out universal basic income or URBI, which is eventually to be paid off using generated by AI. This is where the whether a role idea is everyone who scan their I will get a portion of worldy and receive it is a to be a factor here. So by now you probably got a lot of question, even more or concern. Trust when we say you are not all alone, most everyone single person who has had of WorldCoin has had the inspirational reaction that is not a bad idea, bad as which or bad idea. This ultimately depend on the payment involved, folks. In our seriousness, the world to take. So 8 after WorldCoin launch, and it has everyone wondering, it is whether what now we have been doing in that. WorldCoin later is a week that will give you to the long answer. For now, we will give you to the short answer. If you plan on buying World or anything, already have be aware that it has an aggressive vesting schedule. Now, utility for the time being order. Supply not demand. and driver the fact that it can already listed the most major known as a chain mean it about a valuable as well. But if you plan on lining onto scan I one of those orb to get world for free or already have, be aware that the WorldCoin website specify that you can only claim one world per coin. So that is about what is happening in the cryptocurrency news. So back to after telling about what's happening on the cryptocurrency news, let's take a look to the Ethereum part. So at the moment, tremble off a bit after got rejected here on the descending trend line. Again, in the last few days, we are still watching for a wave 2 correction at the unfold further in this wave 2 correction, which is a normally on ABC correction wave. So impulse, which is clearly it is diagonal, and I think it is a diagonal. I'm wishing here for a wave, complete wave 2 complete. I think we are currently in the third wave like Bitcoin. Then there should be a full and fit overall target for the third wave. I'm watching in the area around 8030, maybe a little longer. So I'm watching for around. I will be able to give you a much prices target. So the low in the third wave, we can calculate much more price target. Overall, the further downside and expected, I know it is a very stubborn. The thing is due to this boring sideways action, and it could much be that B wave. And like that triangle can also give you a Bitcoin video. It is well normally clearly I mean just to give up an example here we could see if we can actually figure out a triangle count wave, and we could say probably B wave. Let's see if we actually get on C wave and D wave, and E wave could really much do that this triangle finish. Then E wave doesn't go beyond that, and the C doesn't go beyond. Okay, now to be fair, this is not the best triangle account, but it is that we could have a breakout to the downside, or B wave could just have unfolded as WH1 structure where the B wave is here. But there are so many different calls we add it here. The good thing it is, and so far we are not idea it is still the wave. So high on the way to the measure the line of the C wave, and 100 extension should take I mean what else is there, and highlight expect. So there is a structure, so isn't it essentially clear where the wave end up? So we just need to be a flexible, but the idea is that eventually we should go lower only really if we just double check that 9030 B wave and higher. I will be lasting low has already until then we're expecting lower first of all 8028 and around 8030 and then 7081. Eventually This setup is jump off point of third wave rally to around 2500 plus, but the condition for that is 78.6 Fabronic retracement level. It is not broken to the downside. That 70 basically the 1700 level. Yeah, that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you like. So after that, let's take a look again to the Bitcoin. So the contrasted subwave structure in each wave. So we have a within the wave we have the subwave at the moment. I'm sketching out in more detail. The third wave that we assume we are having a third wave. ABC, the structure until yesterday, I'm assuming that we might have been the resistant really and impulsive. So downside, I'd assume very well between rebounded about 29,000 yet, but you could say 130 plus minus a few dollar. Sort of here you can see the swing low at around 29 and the 30 actually it is a 38.2 level here, 29 and 140, but you got wick below and the top is here round about 29 and 500. So this is the sort of moving around this range. At that tricky thing is you can't really say how high the B wave will go. It shouldn't really go above resistance here at 30k, but it can do. It is a B wave, so it can certainly push higher. This B wave can be long, can be short, or they can be aggressive. One thing to be other, you can never rule. This is that you certainly spike to the upside, so you just gave up an idea on it because which is a wave or among those the most difficult wave. So focus on the elite wave because they are so diverse. So for example, I could count this as a wave. The three wave consist of could be a triangle, but it could be an wave. There are a wave moving a so stay extended higher, right? So there are a ton I can give you. This is pointless, right? We don't know it is a certain point you have to stop because it will not give you the clarity it is zooming out about. So to shift, I'm more to the upside about 30.4 here on the high. You can consider that overall, but it is already is but nothing. It primarily took for a while. I'm looking for target wise or for the C. We look at the ideally the very first target. So again, I had difficulty finding the endpoint at the moment. I take the highest point for now, but that might change. Would be again 1-to-1 ratio or 28,000 and well, which is 28.3k, and it will be watching. Then we should get a way a full up and 5 down to get a $27,000, 27,000 for 60. Ideally, this is going to complete this way. Correction, there are also trend line that support through a trend reversal or support area at in here prices and rally in third way. Again, the condition it is the 78.6 not broken to the update about Bitcoin Hope. You will have the update if you did please So actually quite compelling to the keeping in mind, in my opinion. Well, back look what have they looked like in the past, in the future, maybe, but not the best information. Let's take a look to the BTC, Bitcoin. So many people are know that the space for 10 years or more than told me that this is the worst beer. Haven't you know? I'm only been here. I feel like there is a escorting. You know, I feel like this is just a perhaps. In the past, people didn't really care that much, and you know, but the first is the the crypto market. You know, despite everyone telling you're not really to be trust me, I have to tell you that I know you think you're smart, you probably are, but there's a lot of other smart people just like you that are it is allowed to early to start this investment. So getting people into trap, you're not really, that is why you're not late either. No, it is a bad market. There was a lot of interest in the market. There are a lot of people, basically everybody really that I know crypto bought crypto during the 2021 and 2022 realized, and obviously everybody wants 2022 to put this perspective. This beginning of 2022, this is the end, the entire year where losing money, it was a pretty brutal, what kind of bear markets you have realized you have some relief that wasn't really quiet, brutal again, and so we can point a different all day long, but the fact is this was a big deal, all right? Bitcoin had a really good chance to continue relying up that black swan, even the C coming market actually crashed down by the 63, which less than 30 within less than got 100 grand in Bitcoin. You're not down to 37k within the less of financial. The level of financial, the only people in country like Zimbabwe and Venezuela and Lebanon and Turkey, only people in this country have actually experienced these losses. But we had here in crypto, it is the kind of the regularly. This is all really interesting. That why everybody, including me, by the went away is actually one of the wrong. When everybody here was, but going to work out, but yeah, I just got things wrong sometimes. I know it is surprised me too. It doesn't obviously, um, you know. So this was a range where basically all we were doing was consolidating on the top. Everybody was still super bearish and super major market and crash hand and recovery, and we just kind of start consolidating the market. Yeah. So you have been consolidating the really long time. The more explosive guarantee are here on the constellation. One of the most, what happened after this is consolidating. Yeah, we still at around 6 or 2 months until we kind of really started. So like a price pool, like a 6, 7 time, time gives us now, and within 260 days, bit consolidating. Prove that here we are in a bear market. We have a trending up down here. I'm punching entirely could be a more obvious. That is why we were not consolidating. Can't tell because it's been a consolidating me for so you're starting to jump about 30k, and give me a second, but it is important. It is important for go back if we go back, so you know that very literally just lying to that is a lot of convolution, and on one level 30K really ringing some bell right now. Cause the result is like, I should say, 50%. That is a big deal. And you know how long that took to a month. So you know that after Bitcoin already crashed by 68%, it then crashed by another 50 up top. That for a total loss of 84 drop. You know, so we really started things in perspective, and we understand very clearly that more and more consolidation means bigger breakouts. So let's come back to the present day. We have been consolidating for a something. Again, we're ignoring this little bit of price action right here, and we cut this outside being in 100 day. I had 100 days of raw consolidation at the market top at a major resistance. Took this blue line is one major resistance, the level we were finding support or massively that number one. Like we're going bounce over it, which is how do you validate a line? You got a big reaction number, or one you got reaction across the long term. After 5 and 4 days, even longer than that is how support level has significant weight in the market. What it was actually we have is just measure it at all at the way, but this market had significant over the market, that this level has significant over the market. Big drop, and what happened? Well, we lost the level of big pump here or support, lose it, big drop, and you know when we happen below the support level, everything we need to know significant. This area of resistance support is we have been constantly losing here. Now look at that, I'm trying and so crazy idea that I really not bad if you're a technical analyst, if you think that market express similar characteristic across time, that assets typically the expert saying the right of the history and the right if you got the case because you are here. This is gonna be an interesting opportunity to make our we are breaking up. I'm saying we're going to 35 to 30K. Not saying we're going to the party. We are on the right now. We're stuck in the road because hope there are fire. You know, we're at Budget Greek Island right now. We have no any Moncon level yet. We are not that yet now. So let's not get too excited. But what I say here, there might be some here. You know, we have been consulting a long time, and you just know you have just to ask question why the market not sent down yet. So what happened here? We got rejected. We actually made it my point even stronger than 25 level. Whereas in the back of the story, so obviously you cannot be upset about what is happening. So the decision you will have is less emotional. Everything will be had this work. Something happen in your life, personal, whatever. If you gave it a time, it will get better. It will get better. Yeah, the later intense emotion will get better. So between you allow yourself to do same thing and you're trading, you are actually giving yourself a big benefit. Here, so you know why occurring now idea that we are not much volatility. That take this is a blessing. It is the best thing you can do. You can either be annoyed by it, or you can that make give you a break to catch yourself again, to perspective and see what you are sitting. So possibility that I can be completely wrong about this, and you guys know my thought about that. They haven't changed. We can drop all the way down at $25,000 the light because the idea having this part, but whatever we can drop a we still potentially as a pounds of we still sideways. we're still going to the same thing, you know. Okay, we're doing it a big percentage. So it was right here on the top or bottom of 27,000. Yeah, there you go. Alright guys, I will see you in the next live. Thank you for watching my live. Today it's been day 16. We have been discussing about Bitcoin and Ethereum telling and discussing what happening in the currency and trading, and yeah, there's a lot of changes happening, and we have been like 2 weeks discussing about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up to the live, and you can comment what how you thought and what is your opinion. You can also write down. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you have a great day. Wish you have a better day and great day. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you see you